This help video is on how to do the firmware updates on our range of ECUs. Be it an S6, an S8 or an S12, the procedure is just the same. The first thing you need to do, and we recommend this is only done via dealers or calibrators, is to first save the calibration. Now, if you don't know how to connect to the ECU, that's probably a first step to say stop and actually let your dealer or calibrator do it. But once you're connected to the ECU, I then recommend you first save the calibration and the logging config from the ECU to ensure that you've got something to roll back to, and also it helps when updating. So to do that, we just go to File, Save, and enter a file name in here. So 1.570 is what's the firmware which is loading at the moment, because you can see that at the software version at the top. So 1.570, we've saved that, and we've then got a good base to go back to. Then, if we open up sconfig and go device get config, we want to grab the config that's on the computer at the moment, click OK on the generic, and then decodes the profile. We want to save this because this is a logging config that's already loaded by your dealer or someone that wants to be able to log certain parameters. So we're saving here 1.7. We'll just say this is test. I'm going to overwrite that. And basically, once we've got that saved, we've then got a config to go back to. So we've got the config save and the calibration save. What we need to do now is head to our website to grab the latest firmware. So when you go onto our website, you go to the Syvecs forum area, and in the forum you then choose the type of ECU you've got, S6, S8 or S12. This particular area I'm in at the moment is for the S12 firmware. So click the latest at the top, the sticky for the latest S12 firmware. And basically what we'll find it does is it presents you with a link to all of the different versions of the S12 firmware which have been posted online. So 1.55, then we've got 1.590, and it lists the changes from when the last posted version was presented. So if you click the link, it downloads the exe file, which we can then see, and it's saved in our downloaded folder. And for this particular instance, we're on an S8 at the moment. So I've downloaded the 1.590 for the S8. Now I've done this before to save some time. So once we've downloaded it, we can basically double click the exe file. It will then find the ECU, and it asks us to enter the serial number of the device which we want to program. So this one is particularly 3155. So we enter that in here. It will then clear and wipe the whole code that's on the ECU at the moment. And once it's done, basically spacebar to exit. And once you've done that, suggest turning the power off to the ECU to basically save battery life on the car. Then go back to SCAL, and in here basically you'll find that you've got your calibration saved, which was the 1.570, your old calibration. What we need to do is bring that software version up to 1.59 now in order to make it compatible with the firmware which you've just loaded. So to do this, you go to basically Cal, change software versions, and in here then choose S8 because that's the ECU type we've got. We're in the 500 to 599 range, and we've just gone to the 1.590 firmware. So we click on that. What it then does is it then presents us of all the input maps that imported successfully, which are all these, and all the maps that did not. Now, when they say they did not, this doesn't mean that they haven't copied across properly. It generally means that these are new items that have been added. So we need to take account and look at what those are. So if you hit the tag, basically it will then display what these are with a red exclamation mark next to it. So you can see that these are new items. So this map has actually now been changed so that you can change the breakpoint of this parameter of the y-axis. And we've obviously got new stuff in the gear blip. The gear progressive blip has a trail blip added to it. But so the key thing is there, once you've seen those new items, obviously then save the calibration, save it with a different file name. Now what you can do, the two things you can do here is, one, you can just go and load this now into the ECU, and anything it's not happy with, it will basically display for you down in the S message. And we're actually going to do it this way so users can actually see the kind of problems that occur once you're updating the firmware. So we've updated it. We're now going to close this, go File, Close, turn our ECU back online, connect to the ECU, and now find the ECU is blank. So if we go to Load Disk Calibration, and then go to 590 Test, which we saved it as. Now you can see now the ECU's basically flashed the firmware, but it's not happy about some items, which are shown down the bottom right hand corner. It's saying pin 655530 unknown, and it's requested by the SBV2. Now the SBV2 is a supercharger bypass valve control strategy. It's basically abbreviated. So if we go to item IO configuration pin assignments, and then basically go to edit and then view undefined functions, because this is going to be an undefined function, you'll see all these new items which have been added to the ECU. Now these new items, we basically, when they're undefined, the ECU won't come online with it like that. So we need to set these as not connected. So if you go down all these, press enter and then just enter twice to not connected. And then if we go device program, then the ECU comes online and we can see we're happy in the top right and connected. Now the other thing to bear in mind when you are doing this is sometimes you might get a custom, an LR data stream needs to be filled. That's because one of these items might become not set where the variable has been removed for reasons or other, it's been renamed. When that happens, it will say in the bottom right hand corner and on the main screen, active LR data stream must be filled. If you're presented with that, basically you need to enter in there what was there before, close to it, or just put it as spare. Now before on us it was as map 1. So we can do that, program it again and get it back online. Now once you've done that, we now need to load the login config which you did. So you've obviously got it saved still and on the screen currently. So when you go to device set the config, you have the same problem which occurred in SCAL. Basically certain items won't match, so the calibration will say that it needs to be upgraded to match the 1.590. So you can do that by going to config, change software version, S8, 590, because that's the version we're now on. Then we're presented with the differences with software, so we just click OK. And once we've done that, we then find we can go device, set config, OK, and find that now our software config is set and our calibration is uploaded and matching what was the firmware update. Hopefully this has been useful, and like we said, we recommend this is done by only calibrators or